So in this video, I'm going to be answering the question that everybody must be wondering about. Are gay people really scary and violent? And do they have some sort of really creepy disease? And the only reason why I'm even bringing this up is because y'all know the song Same Love. It's a great song, positive message. Well, Bizzle Responds to Same Love is a video out there on YouTube. I'll have a link, but please don't click it because I'm going to go through it and explain it. What they actually did was they rewrote the original song to make it just really bigoted and hateful. Instead of going through and pointing all that out immediately, I decided, well, they thought they could take a perfectly good song and ruin it, so I'm going to take their song and make fun of them in it. The point that they made in a lot of their video was that you can choose to be gay. Well, I'm saying no, you can't choose to be gay, but you can choose to be a bigoted, close-minded asshole like you, but you don't want to change. The song Same Love says, I can't change. Well, I rewrote it and said, I won't change. I don't even want to, because being bigoted is fun, and you're going to hell.
Yeah, God, He cares about what you're doing in the bedroom. You put your dick in someone's ass where there's no room. And all these ladies wasting time while they scissoring. I try to tell them that it's wrong, but they ain't listening. And every Christian boy and girl across the nation, they only having sex for God and procreation. Well, I'm completely full of shit and I'm a bigot, I'll admit it, but my mind won't change. And I won't change. I won't even try, and I never wanted to. And I won't change, I won't even try, and I never wanted to. My thoughts of you in hell, it keeps me warm. It keeps me warm. It keeps me warm. You've been warm.
So that's me rapping. Yay. But it's kind of funny, I think. I hope it was kind of funny. I don't know. I just think that it was a good way to portray my image of this guy. I'm going to go through and talk about what he actually said, but I don't know. It's like I'm at a loss for words with a lot of shit that he says because it's just so stupid. I don't even know how to combat it. What he says in and of itself is an argument against himself. That's how bad it is. It's like the creationist guy who was like, well, if the Bible said 2 + 2 = 5, I'm gonna have to believe it's true. I mean, that's the kind of shit you use as an example as to how stupid someone could be. And when they flat out say it, it's like, oh, okay, you just did my job for me. Thank you.
It's funny how the media portrays things. They really pushing hard for this gay thing. And it's so wicked how they manipulate things. Can't even disagree without them making it a hate thing. I say you wrong and you holler hate instantly. But you say we the ones who don't tolerate differences.
Okay, let me just throw this out there. What if I said, I really just think since the Bible mentions slavery multiple times, I just think that we should have slaves. I try to fight for it to be legal, and I just talk about it and say what I think, and the media just portrays it as I'm a big, it's not a hate thing, you're the one oppressing my rights to have slaves. That's how you sound. You realize that's how you sound, right? And it's not being portrayed as a hate thing when your bigotry is actually being put on these people in such a way that they don't have equality, they don't have marriage equality, they don't have the same rights as you. That is a hate thing. It's not just your opinion anymore when you start to enforce that on other people.
Saying it's the way you was born, and I'm sure that you lust like I do, just in a different form. But I'm married, so if I give in to mine, I'm a cheater. If you give in to yours, you just fight to make it legal. Freedom.
So cheating on your spouse now is the same thing as being happily married if you're, happen to be gay. If you happen to be born gay, well, any loving relationship you enter is the same as infidelity. You sinner.
And I feel so disrespected that you were so desperate you would compare your sexual habits to my skin. What? Calling it the new black? Tell me where they do that. They hung us like tree ornaments. Where were you at? Huh?
Listen, I personally know people that I grew up with, that I'm good friends with, that almost committed suicide because they were different. I know people who were almost beaten to death because they were different. I know people who were kicked out of schools because they were different, refused jobs because they were different. Above anyone else, you should be the most sympathetic because you should have some sort of level of understanding because they're being terribly discriminated against. Wouldn't you have more sympathy? But no, you have to say, oh, yeah, how dare you compare what gay people are going through now to what black people used to have to go through, because there's no comparison there. Let's not even begin to think of Arizona and all the shit that just happened there, because totally unrelated, right?
So quit comparing the two, it ain't the same fight. You can play straight, we can never play white.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about before. You can play straight, but we can never play white. Really? Because I think of it a little bit differently. I think, well, you know what? They were born gay, so they can't play straight, actually, but you can play the part of maybe not being a bigoted asshole. Let's try that first.
You were never oppressed, the devil was a liar. The only thing oppressed was your sexual desire. That's all. Keeping your desires oppressed is so lame to you, but when you get married, that's what you expect your mate to do.
Okay, great. So now we're reverting back to the, whenever you're married or in a relationship with somebody, you have to suppress your desire to go off and have sex with everybody else. Oh man, that must be so hard, because you have that person that you want to be with, that you willingly entered into an adult relationship with, and you want to only have sex with them. That's why you entered the relationship in the first place. But we're going to go ahead now and compare that to gay people who, whenever they fall in love with someone, they have to never have sex with them, because that makes sense, because I said so, and because Bible. And that's a good enough reason for you to just have a miserable life, because it's okay for people to just never have sex. Too bad you're gay. You either pretty much have sex with somebody you're not attracted to, or never have sex, because that's better. And we've seen through the Catholic Church that people who vow to not ever have sex, that always works out really well. So we know it's, possible for you too.
It angers you if I compare you to a pedophile. Why? Cause he's sick, right? Really? And you're better how?
It angers you if I compare you to a pedophile because he's sick and you're better how? Really? And okay. I thought doing the, comparison to being married thing was a bad enough thing, but now we're going to go ahead and take the next step to comparing them to pedophiles. Next step will be murderers. Next step will be Hitler. Okay? That's the progression, apparently. Maybe the next step after that will be God. You're better how? Maybe because whenever you're a pedophile, you're raping a child. That's the difference, okay? Because it's rape and it's a child. And they're not an adult in a consenting relationship. That small, tiny little difference.
Man, I ain't choose this. You think he chose that? But I was born this. Well, prove he wasn't born that. But you were never a girl. He was once 9, so at one time in his life it was just fine. What makes your laws right? I'm not buying it, so put him in that same trash can you threw that Bible in.
Okay, we're still pushing the pedophile thing. We're saying, if you were born gay, maybe he was born a pedophile, because at one point in his life he was 9 years old. Right, and then he grew up, and he's not 9 anymore. That's the thing. Whenever you're 2 9-year-olds, yeah, unfortunately there's kids out there who have sex with each other, and then we have these really young, sad child pregnancies, kids having kids. I've seen it in the hospital. It's a crazy thing. But whenever you're an adult, there's something that happens, I don't know, in your brain. You grow up, and then having sex with a 9-year-old isn't okay anymore.
And that rainbow you using is a gay pride symbol. It represents a covenant with God, if you didn't know. Check Genesis 9:13 for the info.
Actually, the rainbow represents something pretty awful if you actually know what it stands for. After the flood, where God killed everyone, then there was a rainbow. That's something that I want to look up and remember. What is it, by the way, with religious people and symbols representing horrible shit? Like, oh, look at that rainbow when all those people got killed and drowned, and all those mothers with babies, they just all washed away. Oh, God is great.
As for being born away, I should never see y'all ever use a word like retard to describe someone who was born a little differently than we are. I guess Down syndrome really isn't a thing, y'all. What do we call your syndrome? Oh, that term is offensive now when it hits home. So what gives you the right to call the way he was born a defect? I call yours a defect, you feel it's disrespect.
Okay, so we're making progress here. We first had the adulterers, and then we had the pedophiles, and now we're comparing it to Down syndrome. Okay, so I've explained the differences in the other two. The thing is with Down syndrome is they have an extra chromosome. Trisomy 21, they have an extra chromosome, number 21. Okay? That's an actual problem, because you see they're born with a disability. They cannot function properly because they have a genetic defect in their chromosomes. They have an extra chromosome. How could you compare being gay to having an extra chromosome. Like, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are raising kids with Down syndrome or other disabilities, other trisomies. I mean, like, these people have to go through a lot, okay? Whenever you have a kid that is gay, there is nothing wrong with them. They do not have a defect, they do not have a syndrome, and yes, it's offensive whenever you compare something that's perfectly normal to a child who's actually suffering with a real problem.
What I won't allow you to do is paint this beautiful picture like we don't have people from the LGBT community out here running up in churches, disrupting services, kissing on the pulpit, out here attacking old ladies, throwing crosses down and stomping them, violently assaulting people.
Attacking old ladies and violently assaulting people. Wow, who knew being gay could be so much fun? You know what, I should just start making a list. So far we've got adulterers, we've got pedophiles, we've got Down syndrome, and now we're just gonna go ahead and throw violence on top of all that. Because, you know, when you're gay, you just bust into churches and start beating up old ladies and throwing crosses down and stomping on them and violently assaulting people. Where does he even get this shit? Like, this is comedy. Like, this can't be real. But then, like I said, if you go to his video, you've seen how they completely filter through all of the comments to leave only the good ones. This is awesome. All of my thoughts exactly. Thank you. Finally, someone has spoken out against this song and situation. Oh yeah, finally someone spoke out against this song promoting equality and acceptance of others. Because that's terrible. We hate equality. How dare you try to make something good? You know, because they're the ones with the problem, because being gay is a choice, and being closed-minded and bigoted and focused on the Bible and not really looking at the world around you and ignoring all of science, that's not a choice. That's mandatory. That makes sense. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really frustrating for me to make and really frustrating for me to watch this over and over again and listen to this shit, and I couldn't believe that it existed. Like I said, please don't even go to the video and give it any more views because they don't deserve it. You're not even going to get to comment because I'm sure anything that you have to say will be not approved by the uploader, so it's a waste of time. Leave all your hate comments for their video in the description of my video because I want to hear all about it because I'm annoyed. Anyways, I hope you like my rapping because it's really good and I'm just totally awesome, cool rapper, right? Because I'm gangster, yo, that works for me, right? No? Alright, just leave me comments and tell me how gangster I am so I can feel better about myself. Thank you! Hope you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it everywhere, make sure to also check out my website, www.jacquelineglenn.com. I've got some awesome Logic t-shirts on there, and it helps me out a lot when you get those, so I will leave that as a link in the description below, so make sure to check it out. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
I won't change. I won't even try.